The most important problem right now in our environment, especially Bombay, is the amount of air pollution.
Garbage is one biggest problem, and I think every individual needs to take care of it.
बरसात के टाइम यहाँ पे भर जाता है और भरने के कारण ना सब पानी घर में आता है।
गाड्यामुळे मला धूर ते सहन होत नाही।
कुछ तो भी उसका हल निकालना पड़ेगा।
Environmentally Sustainable Finance Group at CDF seeks to enable and inspire people to make the choices about technologies and practices to protect the environment. There are 4 ways in which ESF works to achieve these goals. 1 is through activating information. 2 is through leveraging existing green markets and incentives. 3 is through working with partners. And 4 is through targeted research and policy advocacy. So environmentally sustainable finance at CDF is trying to be a part of the solution, whether it is increasing public information, promoting new solutions, influencing regulation, or answering research questions. Environmentally sustainable finance is also partnering with the World Resources Institute, a leading US-based environmental think tank, to identify business models to deliver clean energy to the base of the pyramid consumers in India.
It has a project known as the Next 4 Billion, in which it is trying to address and find out solutions which can cater best to these 4 billion people who are below poverty line. So for that, we actually are scanning technologies across the globe. Technologies which are environmentally friendly, which are cost effective, which actually can go on over a period of time. So we are trying to look into models in which carbon finance is actually benefiting people at a grassroots level. I mean, the best thing that the consultancies have done so far is they have been able to scale up the technology, and CDM is a big thing as of now. Bagepalli is a drought-prone area, and it's around 100 kilometers away from the Bangalore airport. It borders the Rayalaseema desert belt, so development across that particular area had been very slow. I mean, when this project, a CDM project, came through, the basic objective that ADATS had in mind was that it wanted to provide cleaner energy solutions to the people. I mean, the women in the households. They built 5,500 biogas digesters across 5,500 single households. And the money to build this household biodigester was actually brought in through external agencies who actually paid for the CDM revenues that they were getting from this. The project was a successful one, as they are scaling up into around 18,000 or 19,000 projects, and they are trying to cater to a wider audience. We are trying to take up the WRA, the World Resource Institute project, a bit further, as in we are trying to see as many technologies as we can at this point of time, and we would be profiling these technologies and coming up with a single exhaustive report with WRI, which would be a one-stop solution for these technologies across the world. And from the Bagepalli case example, we hope to get in more NGOs and other corporates as well, which actually can invest for cleaner technologies at the rural level.
The Environment Sustainability Index, or ESI as we call it, is a policy tool which can track the environment performance of all the states, 28 states of India, and can predict how best a state is going to protect and manage its environment in the coming decades. But in India, we do not have any such tool which we can use to measure a society's or a state's performance on the environment side. So that's how CDF has created this ESI to fill this gap. It's a ranking tool which ranks all the states from a score of like 0 to 100. So a state with higher ESI indicates it has been able to manage its stock of natural resources very judiciously. Also, it has created less stress on the environment system and human health. A state with like lower ESI indicates that this state has depleted its stock of natural resources and has accumulated pollution and waste, which has created negative impact on environment system and human health. Manipur has topped the list. It's the best performing states, followed by Jammu Kashmir and then Tripura. And the states that are in the bottom of the ranking are Gujarat, which is number 28, and then we have Punjab and Haryana. As we know, like, environment is a very sensitive issue. So the investors can actually see like how a state has ranked in the ESI, and once we come up with like 2007, 8, and also subsequent indices, it's very easy to track the change in a state's ranking in a time series. So identifying these areas, like identifying basically the areas of strength and weakness for any state government, and then deciding so that you can make a better policy regime for the future.
Pollution Map initiative at CDF tries to mend a disconnect between the pollution monitoring regime in India and the kind of environmental information on pollution that's available to communities. Currently, the pollution monitoring that is done is more focused in cities, very little is done in rural areas, and it's focused on industrial pollution. But actually the impacts are felt amongst communities, amongst settlements, and very few pollution sensors are actually amidst where the impact is actually felt. Monitoring information is not all structured in India. It is very rudimentary, and this pollution map will actually help put all of this information together, both from public and private sensors. By public, I mean all the government pollution monitoring sources, and the whole bunch of monitoring efforts that are being done by NGOs as well. And this will all be brought together under the pollution map and will become a central repository, which is what is absent in India today.
A number of initiatives are observed at the moment. For instance, you have the Equator Principles, you have the United Nations Environment Programme Finance Initiative, and in these initiatives, a number of multinational banks, governments, international development institutions collaborate and promote sustainable lending. So what we are trying to understand is, should regulators in developing countries promote these initiatives, and why is the adoption rate of these initiatives in developing countries low? Apart from the political economy of green lending, we are also trying to understand what is the risk propensity of business to face activism. In this study, we are trying to understand variables which lead a business to be subject to greater or lesser degree of activism.
Ultimately, the major challenge for ESF is to enable and to inspire people to take the choices about technologies and practices to protect the environment.